Minecraft Hardcore is arguably the best mode in the game of Minecraft, solely due to the fact that if you die, your world is permanently deleted, so it adds an extra level of stress on top of a game that can already be pretty stressful. Not only that, but the mobs are a lot harder and they spawn a lot more frequently, which makes it the perfect mode to do 100 days in. So let's begin. First off, I spawned into this gorgeous jungle arena and I decided to take a look at the sunrise because it was so gosh darn beautiful, and then I decided that I should probably start to get wood. And then I found myself a jungle temple off in the distance and I thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna go explore that jungle temple. I immediately got incredibly excited. How in the hell do you swim in the Java edition of Minecraft? Nobody really knows, but I decided to hop into the water and give it a shot to see if we could go into the jungle temple with no sword and just an axe. Yeah, it probably wasn't the best idea. So I saw the skeleton immediately and I decided to dip out of there and go and make a pickaxe so that we could make some stone materials like a sword and like another stone pickaxe. And that's about the time that I saw this cave, took 2 looks around, took 1 listen to the sound of the zombies in there, and decided to dip out of there and go mine some coal instead because I was not about to die 4 seconds into this recording. Now that we were all lathered up with a bunch of nice coal, we could make a torch and get some iron while we were at it. Yeah, that's right, we got iron before we even built anything sort of resembling a shelter. That's right. It was at this point that I started to panic severely because I had just realized that, because of that fact right there, we had no shelter. And it was now nighttime. I started to weep and shudder at the fact that I had nothing somewhat resembling a shelter built yet, so I decided to retreat to a nearby tree and climb it, and see if we could just build some sort of a hut on top of it, which is exactly what we did. Once inside my new little hut home, I decided to build a furnace so that we could upgrade our tools and go to the jungle temple the next day, and then I sat there and waited for the next day. Yeah, that's about all I did. Day 2 was finally upon us, and it was time to go and infiltrate the mysterious jungle temple. So now equipped with my new iron materials, I felt much more confident in my abilities to destroy the skeleton that lurked within. Only once I was inside, I had no sign of the skeleton whatsoever. He must have fled. It's okay, I would have fled if I was the skeleton too. I'm a pretty scary guy to go up against. Once inside the jungle temple itself, I was very cautious not to go across any booby traps and get myself killed. I'm a noob, but I'm not that big of a noob. I know that there are booby traps within these jungle temples, so I was very aware of my surroundings, and eventually I got to the beloved chest, which didn't have a whole lot in it, but that horse armor would probably come in handy later on down the road. Once I was thoroughly done looting the jungle temple, I decided to embark on a journey to find the perfect location for a jungle house, as I wasn't a big fan of the location of where my previous hut was located. As I was journeying, trying to find the most perfect location for my home, I stumbled across a little old ravine. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. It looks like fate had it that they wanted me to mine before I got settled down with a home, so that's exactly what I did. I jumped into this ravine and mined every single ore that I could possibly lay my eyes on. Once I had finished mining, it was nighttime and I was scared crapless as I was so far from the hut that I had originally made. I had no idea what direction it was even in. I decided to fend myself off from a couple of zombies by building this little cobblestone tower. So I fended myself off and then I retreated back down to the beach, where I then found this underwater treasure. This treasure held some pretty valuable things, but one of the most valuable of those things was easily the treasure map. I decided that we needed to go exploring and see what we could find around the surrounding areas. I definitely needed some sheep so that I could have a bed to sleep in so I could sleep through the nights. And then we came across this really close call. Yeah, that scared the crap out of me. So I went directly back home, got a fishing rod, and I decided it was time to fish to see what I could get because I absolutely love fishing in the game of Minecraft. All I found was a water bottle, which is pretty lame, and then I forgot to actually go and get the buried treasure map from the treasure that was buried underwater. So I went and I did that real quick now that I had more inventory space. It was now the morning of day number 4, and I was deciding it was time to go venture out and see what I could find in surrounding areas. To see if I could find anything interesting surrounding my little jungle island, I definitely needed to find sheep, so there was a lot to get done. There was a lot to go and see. I couldn't find any livestock whatsoever on my little island, so I thought it was time to change that. And we traveled far, and I mean really far. I killed a lot of pigs on the way, and then I found this pretty cool little structure here as well that had a decent chest with a fishing rod with Luck of the Sea 3, which is pretty cool. It started to get to nighttime, and I couldn't find a sheep yet, so I had no bed, and I was really scared, so I dug myself a little hole, buried myself in that hole. I put a torch in there, and we stayed the rest of the night, in our hole. I came out of the hole a little bit prematurely, but that's okay because I fought a bunch of monsters and got some more XP, and I even found a new creeper that I decided to also kill and go up against so I could get a little bit more gunpowder. That's right, creeper, take that, baby. That's when I found some sheep, finally, after so long, and oh my gosh, what am I doing? I didn't even use the shears that I had. I just went full on at them with my iron sword. I'm sorry, sheep. I apologize. I guess I did kind of need the meat, though. And that's kind of how the rest of the day went. I just went on beating some sheep to death, and then I went back onto my boat, and I started to sail back home with a brand new idea of where I was going to put my new home. It was going to be at the top of this big tree, spoiler alert. So I decided to prepare to make this brand new home at the top of that ginormous tree by getting vines and leaves of all kinds of sorts to make my giant treehouse in the jungle. Nighttime was upon us, and it was time for me to have my first actual night's rest of the entire episode so far. Yay! Good job, JDO. Had my first actual night's rest. And it was right back to work. I went and I got a bunch of sand because the house required a lot of it. I wanted to have a lot of glass in this house so I could see the beautiful views, and it was coming along greatly. It was coming along very smoothly. The building of the house took a long time, and it took up most of day number 6, but it was a glorious build. I was having a lot of fun with it. I spent the next little bit of time just perfecting the build, just filling in the gaps and that sort of thing, making it look a little bit better. I put some chests in the ground, which looked pretty cool and that sort of thing. So I spent the rest of day 7 and a little bit of day 8 making sure that everything looked absolutely miraculous. And let me tell you, it did. And then we went out and we went exploring. I wanted to find a cave, and I did find a cave, and we went mining for a little while. And then I found something really cool in this cave. I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was like this little nether thing that had leaked into the overworld. And I went up and there was a chest, and there was a portal, and there was some obsidian, and it just looked really cool, and everything was on fire, and it was like right in the middle of the jungle. It was cool. And I didn't actually end up recording myself looting the chest. I thought I was recording, and I didn't when I wasn't recording when I found it, and so I couldn't record myself actually looting the chest, but we did get some good loot, and we continued to mine. It was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of zombies and creepers and other types of mobs inside of this cave. I fought a lot of zombies and a lot of creepers. We fought a ton of skeletons as well. I mean, look at this. There was a skeleton spawner and everything. There was a ton of mobs in this cave, and it was pretty cool that I was able to find a skeleton spawner as well. And there were some chests in there too, which is even better. There was a little railroad down below as well, which was even cooler. So we definitely looted this up. We got a golden apple, we got a name tag, some other cool stuff, and then I went and I looted the railroad on top of that too. Because why in the world would I not? We found even more spawners. Even more spawners. That's 3 spawners. It was pretty crazy. And we found another name tag and another chest, which was pretty cool. So I definitely had to mark this cave and make sure I knew where it was so I could come explore it later. And then I made the biggest risk of this entire video so far by making that jump right there. I was so scared. Definitely would have died if I didn't make it. But we made it. We made it back home safely by nighttime by the end of day number 12. We were fresh. We were looking good. And everything was just fine. It was smooth sailing from there. Day number 13 was upon us, and I definitely wanted to start a farm. So that's what I did. Literally the entire day of number 13, I cleared out that sand area for the farm, and I did that for most of day of 14 too. So it's very uneventful, but we got a ton of sand. We literally will never need to get sand again for the rest of the entire video. You guys are not even going to see me farming for sand. I promise. I got so much sand by clearing out that hill, and then we put some dirt in, and then we started farming. So I just started up a quick farm, which was really fun, and I tried putting a wall around the entire perimeter as well, and oh my gosh, it didn't work. So I spent like the last part of day 14 and day 15 trying to put this cobblestone fence around the perimeter of the house, and it was a waste of time. It was the worst idea I've ever had. I've never had a more terrible idea in my life, and I just wasted the entire day. Just all day 15 just went away. Day number 16 was upon us, and it was time to go explore this mine shaft that was right outside of the house. It was very close to our house, so I had to go explore it and see what was up. And boy, oh boy, am I glad that I did so, because there were tons of different areas that you could branch off and explore. There was a lot of exploration opportunities within this cave, and I found a lot of ores as well. And this cave was the perfect time to search for diamonds, which is exactly what I started to do. I wanted to search for diamonds, but I came across this creeper, and it was the closest call of the entire video so far by getting blown up by this creeper. It blew me right into the lava. Scariest thing I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I've never crafted more bricks in my entire life. It took a little bit too long for me to stop taking damage. I really thought that this was it. I wasn't stopping burning, and it was scary, and all of my food bars were all the way up, and then I stopped burning, and it was good. So it was definitely back to farming from there. I was too scared to continue to mine. Please don't mind my face cam. I forgot that I left it on accident for this portion, so don't mind my face cam. But while I left my face cam on, you guys really didn't miss a whole ton. All I did was gather a bunch of wood and farm, and then I made myself a map so I could always find home. I made some iron armor, and then I decided that it was time to go treasure hunting. We still had that treasure map that we found in the underwater chest a few days back, so I decided to put it to good use and go see where this treasure was. We needed to travel east, so naturally I'm an idiot and I traveled west for over an entire Minecraft day, but along the way we found a lot of cows and we found a village, so it was not a waste of my time. We got a ton of food and we found that cool village before I realized that I was going the wrong way. We also found this really cool like little mine shaft thing that was in a clay area. I don't even know what to call it, but we found another name tag and it was really cool. And like I said, we got a ton of meat from cows and sheep on my way back, so it wasn't a total waste of time, but I did go in the exact opposite direction for multiple Minecraft days before I realized my mistake. But I finally corrected my mistake and we found this treasure going the actual right way, and it was pretty cool. It was definitely worth my time, and I'm actually glad I went the wrong way because there is not a lot of livestock near the jungle biome, so I didn't really have a whole lot of food that I could have gotten unless I went and traveled to find that food. So it was a good thing that I went the wrong way and got a ton of meat from cows and that sort of thing. And then I decided on day 28 it was time to expand my house. So that's exactly what we did. We spent some time expanding my house. I saw some pillagers and decided, heck nah, I'm not going to go for that today, and I kept expanding my house, and we made a cool little balcony with this fence, and I really liked the effect of the floating fence. I thought it looked really cool that the fences wouldn't stick to the wooden slabs, they just hovered above it. I don't know, I thought that was way cool, and I decided to make a diving board so that I could get down from my house super quickly because it was getting really tedious to climb down those vines every time I needed to go down to the ground. So I decided to make a little diving board, and this proved to be incredibly useful and efficient because it was just so much quicker to jump into the water anytime I wanted to get down from my treehouse. I decided to put some leaves up as well to make it look a little bit more treehousey, and I thought that was a great idea. I thought it was an even better idea to put the chests in between the leaves. It looked way cooler and it was much more organized than it had been just sitting in the ground in my home. So I decided it was a lot better to put all of these chests out on the balcony and on top of the fences in between the leaves. It just looked a lot better than it did before in the ground. So that was the end of day 29. It took a little bit of time and I definitely had to name these chests. I had to put some really funny names for these chests that I sorted. I mean, of course, it wouldn't be a Minecraft home if you didn't put a little flair to it, you know? I had to have my own names for these chests, and they were completely appropriate as well. There was nothing wrong with the names that I gave these chests. It was just so that I could know what was inside of them, nothing else. On day 30, we went back down to the mines, and I was hell-bent to find some diamonds, which took some time, but eventually I did find some diamonds. And it didn't take too long, but it did take a little bit of time, and I didn't find as many as I would have liked to, but we still found diamonds nonetheless, which is exactly what I was going for. Diamonds is something we hadn't hit in this world yet, and it was definitely lacking. Day 32, it's a little bit too long to get diamonds, but that's okay. I went and got some obsidian while I was at it since I had a diamond pickaxe, and we created an enchanting table. My one and only purpose of the enchanting table was to get fortune 3 on a pickaxe so that the next time I got diamonds, I would get a ton of them. So that was the goal of the enchantment with the enchanting table. I did, however, though, need a lot more leather in order to create the books required to make 15 bookshelves to surround the enchanting tables and to get the level 30 enchantments. So I ventured out to get as much leather as I could, which ended up being a lot longer of a trip than I thought it would be, and we came across an Arctic Ocean with a little bit of a chest underneath the water, but a lot of zombies guarding it, and I got pretty scared, so I had to resurface and rethink my strategy. I figured out shortly after that, though, that you could stand on magma blocks underneath the water and breathe, and while I was doing so, I saw a couple of diamonds. Oh, look at you, you're beautiful, aren't you? I was scared, though, that I wasn't going to be able to mine the diamonds in time before I started to drown, but that was okay. I figured it out. I'm amazing, and I got it done. I was able to mine those 2 diamonds and then go back and stand on the magma block, but unfortunately, there weren't enough magma blocks around the treasure chest, and there were too many zombies for me to actually loot the chest itself, so we had to ditch it and keep on moving forward with the mission, which was to find enough leather to get enough bookshelves to get level 30 enchantments. I looted this village pretty dry, and I got this smithing table, which would come in handy a lot later on. I killed some more cows, and I actually leveled myself up to enchantment level 30, which was pretty nice. Along the way, it was nice that I was able to hit that. And then I found this village, which was really cool and all, until I figured out the fact that it was completely useless for me to even be killing cows because of all the bookshelves that they had in this village. Yeah, I was not too happy about it, but we were level 30, we had a ton of meat, and we had a ton of leather, and now we had a bunch of books. So once I made it back home, we created the 15 bookshelves required to get level 30 enchantments, and we surrounded my enchanting table. But we did it in probably the ugliest and the worst way possible, so I stripped it down and I decided to restructure this section of the balcony to make it fit the enchanting table and the 15 bookshelves a little bit better. Did I do the best job? I absolutely did not do the best job that I could have possibly done. I'll be the first to admit it. I wanted to enchant a diamond pickaxe and to get fortune 3, but in order to do that, I needed lapis. So I went mining to find some lapis, and I actually found diamonds first, which was pretty cool, but I didn't mine them so that I could come back later and mine it with looting. And then I found some lapis, and now it was finally time to enchant that diamond pickaxe and see if I could get looting 3. But unfortunately, I didn't have my bookshelf set up correctly, so I wasn't getting level 30 enchants. So I had to rearrange my bookshelves and make them the correct way, because it's really sensitive, but I ended up making them the correct way. I ended up making my bookshelves the correct way, and boy oh boy, we got some Unbreaking 3, which wasn't what I wanted, but that's okay. Fortune 1, Unbreaking, it wasn't what I wanted, but that's not the biggest deal in the world, right? I was a little disappointed, but that's okay. So I decided to do my sword instead, and we got Unbreaking 3 with my sword. Again, not the worst thing in the world. Might as well do it because it's not too big of a deal. Unbreaking 3 would be pretty useful for a diamond sword. Why not? I got sharpness on it as well. Since I wasn't level 30 anymore after enchanting my diamond sword, I decided to go to the Nether to farm for more XP. And the best way I knew how to do that was to farm the quartz in the Nether. So we definitely went to the Nether, baby. And oh boy, it was a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the Nether moving forward. I actually didn't spawn in too bad of an area either. There was a crimson forest right next to us, and there was a bunch of blue forests as well, pretty close, but you guys won't see it here, but that's okay. There was a lot of forests around us. It was a great Nether to spawn in, and immediately I found some quartz, so I decided to farm it, and I found some gold, and I decided to farm that as well, so I could get as much XP as possible, go back to the enchanting table, and see what level 30 enchantment I could get for my pickaxe after enchanting my sword. The Nether is always such a fun adventure. So many different mobs that you come across, so much danger, so much lava, so much scariness. But it's always so worth it when you go to the Nether because you find really cool stuff like this. And it's actually pretty beautiful in its own weird way. I spent some time in the Nether. It wasn't too long. I didn't explore too much. I knew that I wasn't quite ready for that yet, but I did get a lot of enchanting levels, and I was fortunately able to get myself to level 30 again so that we could go enchant our diamond pickaxe. Please, oh please, Minecraft gods, give me Fortune 3 on my pickaxe. I really need it. Oh boy, I really would love Fortune 3. And oh my gosh, we got Fortune 3. And look at these other enchantments. We got Efficiency, Fortune, and Unbreaking. It was the perfect pickaxe that I could have asked for at this point. And I was so excited to use it. I ran straight back down to the mine. I ran straight back down to the diamonds that I hadn't quite mined yet when I was mining for the lapis. You guys remember that? Yeah, I remember that. I went straight back to it. I was so excited to mine it and see how many diamonds I could get from this diamonds. I was probably going to get like 20, 30 because there's going to be so many there is one diamond. There's just one. But that one diamond turned into 4 because of the fortune. How cool is that? Our luck didn't just stop at getting Fortune 3 on our first try. We kept on finding diamonds after we kept mining for more of them. I found diamonds really quickly, one after another, and we found a lot of them. We came out of this little mining run with a ton of diamonds. I came out of that mining run with over an entire 64 stack of diamonds, which is freaking insane. So of course, because of this, I had to upgrade my armor. We hung up the iron armor and we gave ourselves a full set of diamond armor. Day 46 had rolled around and I decided I was way too tired of being alone, so I ventured out and found myself a dog. I had a ton of bones from the skeleton spawner that we killed, and it was just time. It was time to get ourselves a dog, and oh my gosh, he's the cutest dog I've ever had in Minecraft. They all look the same. Shut up. No, they don't. This one is cuter. I was so excited about it. We slept in the forest that I found him in, and on day 47, him and I both sailed back to the jungle tower so that we could bond forever, and I was so happy that I had him. It took the rest of day 47 to sail back, and man, I just felt so much better. We weren't lonely anymore, and we definitely weren't lonely with these pillagers at all. We got even more company, more than what I bargained for. I had to take out these pillagers real quick, and I got the ominous banner, and I had like the bad omen around me, or whatever that meant. But I didn't care at all. I went to work on a bridge. It was time to expand my home even further and really upgrade it to the next level, which took some time, it took some effort, and it took a lot of building. And it took a couple of days because I did this completely in hardcore, and so falling took like a lot of damage, and it was hard. It was hard to figure everything out and do the architectural structures on my own, that sort of thing. It was difficult, but I eventually did it. I got it done, and boy oh boy did it look good. The entire point of this new bridge and this new area was actually to give ourselves a new area to enchant. I didn't love where my enchanting table was before, so I cleaned that up and I patched up the balcony and moved it over to this treetop. I did a little clearing and we made ourselves a new enchanting area at the end of this bridge, and I thought it was so much better. I gave ourselves a little enchanting chest, and this is what it looked like. I think it looks way better than it looked on the balcony before, so I was very happy with it. This was a view from the bridge from down by the mining shaft and down by the Nether portal. It looks so cool. It swoops down and then it comes back up. I was proud of it. Day 54 was now upon us, and it was time to farm. We hadn't farmed in a very long time, and the wheat was ready to be harvested. So that's exactly what I did, and then I gave our dog an official name. That is right. His name is now to be Otis, which is the best name for a dog ever, and it's the cutest dog ever as well. So boom, that was pretty much all of day 54. We just farmed and then named Otis. Once day number 55 hit, it was time to actually upgrade our nether a little bit. So I did make a little base right outside of our portal out of cobblestone to make it a little bit safer. We went around the nether and patched up a few holes. We did some maintenance things and we made our nether a lot better and a lot more comfortable. I had some big plans for our nether world for the future, but for now what I did was just venture out as far as I could so that I could build a portal and see what was on the other side, to see if there's anything worth exploring on the overworld. And let me tell you, there was nothing worth exploring. It was really disappointing and quite honestly a huge waste of my time. I was very frustrated. For the literal entire day of 59, I just got wood, and then on day 60, I ventured out to find a village because I was on a mission to get mending for my pickaxe. That's right, my awesome pickaxe that had the best enchantments that I could have ever hoped for on a first roll. I wanted mending for it, so I needed to find a village, I needed to find a librarian, and I needed to farm that librarian to then get mending. It was the perfect plan, and I was so excited to do it, but I needed to find the village first, which I found pretty quickly. It was decently close to home, not super close, but it was close to home. I quickly found a villager that had not been assigned a job yet, and I put him to work. I threw down that lectern, and I kept on farming him. For those of you that don't know what I'm doing right now, I am giving this villager the job of a librarian who can trade with you a bunch of different enchanted books. One of the enchanted books is Mending, which repairs your pickaxe when you mine and get XP. So that pickaxe of mine will never run out. It will always and always be there for me. I will never ever lose that pickaxe. And I finally got Mending. What you have to do is break that lectern every time he doesn't have Mending in his inventory. And when you replace the lectern and give him the job again, he gets a new enchanted book. So that's what I did until I got Mending. I finally got Mending and I decided to go trade sticks with a Fletcher, who I also gave the job of fletching to this villager so that I could trade sticks with him and get a bunch of emeralds. I also traded wheat with the farmer to get a bunch of emeralds because mending was about 26 emeralds. So once I had traded enough wheat and sticks to the Fletcher and the farmer to have enough emeralds to afford mending, I went back to the librarian to get my glorious book, and it had gone, it had expired, it refreshed, which I didn't know happened, and I started crying, a lot of tears, because it took me a long time to finally get mending. It took me a full another day in Minecraft to finally get mending again. It's quite the grind. It can be really hard sometimes, and it was just a tear-felt couple of days in Minecraft, but I was ready for it. The second I saw that mending book, I bought it, and it was glorious. Once I saw it again, I was so excited I couldn't even hardly contain myself. We bought that mending book. After finally getting mending again, I was pretty much done with this village, so I got a map so that I could mark the place of the village and come back and trade with that librarian whenever. And on our way back home, we actually came across a witch, which was pretty cool. I decided to go in there, mess the witch up, and then take her loot, which was a lot of fun. Once back home, I named that map so that we could go back to the desert or the village whenever and explore a little bit more thoroughly. I also put mending on the pickaxe, so our pickaxe was complete. Boom! It was awesome. The next day, Otis and I went down for a little adventure. I wanted to create a dock or some sort of place that I could go fishing at with my luck of the sea fishing rod that I had not used very much at all. So I wanted to create a little space for me and Otis to go down and go fishing together, like a little father-son activity. It was a lot of fun, but the place looked like crap. I'm not gonna lie. I could have done a lot better of a job on it, and I kind of gave up a little bit of the way through, and I decided to go get some more diamonds down in the mine, which paid off a lot more than making a crappy fishing center, which didn't even work out too well. Day 69 rolled around, very nice, and I decided to go back to the Nether and explore a little bit, and I actually found one of these little Nether thing. It wasn't a Nether castle or a Nether fortress. I don't know what to call it. It's one of the new Nether things, but man, oh man, it was scary because there was a lot of piglings around, and at this point in my Minecraft career, I didn't know that if you wore gold, you wouldn't be attacked by the other types of piglet things. I don't even know what to call them, and so I wasn't wearing gold, so I was getting attacked like crazy, and it was scary, and I was scared, but I found a lot of cool chests with a lot of cool loot inside of them, so it became very worth it. We were getting pretty close to the 100th day. It was coming up pretty quickly. We were on day 71, and I decided it was time to make a big change in the Nether. I was going to build a huge Nether hub that is going to transport us to all different places, such as our Nether fortress and to different places in the overworld. In order to do this, we had to move our Nether portal all the way up to the roof of the Nether, because that is where we were going to be transporting ourselves to different areas in the overworld, was using the roof of the Nether. So that's exactly what we did. We linked up our portal back home, and it worked just fine. It looked amazing. And then our next step was going to be enchanting our sword to get looting 3 and to enchant a bow to get infinity. That way, we can get the wither skulls from wither skeletons in the Nether fortress and fight the wither on the 100th day. That was our big plan. That's what I wanted to do, is fight the wither on the 100th day. So we disenchanted a couple of things, got some XP levels, and we finally got power 3 and infinity on our bow and looting 3 on our diamond sword. Now that we were all geared up to actually fight the mobs in a Nether fortress, we had to go and find another fortress, which was much harder than it should have been. It took a lot of time to explore the Nether and actually find another fortress. It took me a very long time. Along the way, we found some treasure, so it was well worth the journey, but it took about 2 Minecraft days for me to finally find this Nether fortress. Now that we had finally found another fortress, it was time to go inside and see what we could find. As soon as I entered the Nether fortress, right off the bat, I found a blaze spawner, which I'm not complaining about. That was one of the reasons we wanted to come to the fortress, was to get some blaze rods and make a brewing station so we could make potions to go and fight the wither. So that's what I did. I farmed the blaze for a couple of minutes. After finding the blaze, it was time to try my luck with a couple of wither skeletons. For those of you that don't know, you need 3 wither skeleton skulls that drop from wither skeletons in Nether fortresses in order to fight the wither. So we needed 3 of these, and they are an incredibly rare drop. So the fact that we got 1 on our first run to another fortress was awesome. After that, it was time for our transportation plan. How in the heck are we ever going to get back to this Nether fortress? It was so far away. Well, I had a plan for that. We dug to the roof of the Nether right over the Nether fortress, took down the coordinates of exactly where we were in the Nether, right above the Nether fortress, and then we went through the portal and all the way back home to the jungle. And then once we were in the jungle, we were going to go back to the Nether from the jungle and dig in the roof of the Nether all the way back to the Nether fortress at the coordinates that I marked down. It was complete genius. The Nether Fortress was over 700 blocks from our jungle portal, so this took a very long time to dig a hole all the way to the Nether Fortress. It took almost 3 Minecraft days, so it took a long time. It was day 80 when we finally finished digging the hole all the way to the Nether Fortress, and since it was so far away, it took a very long time to even run the entire distance all the way to the Nether Fortress. So I had a plan for that. We got Silk Touch on a pickaxe, and we took a very long time gathering the materials needed for this transportation system that I had in mind. Basically, what we were going to do was create a huge slide all the way down the tunnel we just spent so long digging. In order to do that, we had to have a ton of ice so that we could slide down it. Now, in order to get ice, I had to get Silk Touch on a pickaxe, which is what we did, and then we went to work gathering the materials. And this took a very long time to get enough ice to do this, and we also had to get a lot of glass as well. So it took a very long time, but this is pretty much what it was going to look like. How it was going to work was we were going to use a boat to slide across the ice all the way down the tunnel. For the first beginning part, we had 5 pieces of ice, and then the rest we skipped every other block. This was going to make us zoom across. In order to hold us in place, we had glass on the sides of the walls, and this is what it looked like. So it was going to work really good, but we had to do it all the way down the hall, and it was a very long hallway. We're talking hundreds of blocks. That's why we had to get so much ice and so much glass to make this work. And this is what took a lot of time. So most of this is going to get cut out, but it took a ton of time. After hours and hours of painstakingly hard work and labor, we finally had the world's most efficient transportation system. Even when this tunnel was dug all the way, without this slide, it took minutes for me to run all the way to the Nether Fortress, and now it only merely took seconds. It was complete genius. I'm probably the smartest person in the world, but that's okay, I'm not even worried about it. It was absolutely so much fun to slide all the way down this long hallway and get to the Nether Fortress. It took a long time to build it, but it was so worth it in the end, as this was going to be super efficient for us, and I was so proud of myself for building it. Because of all the materials that I was starting to gather in the Nether, that meant we had to get another chest, which meant another sign, of course. So that's what we did. We stacked this chest with all of the stuff we got from the Nether, and then I decided to spice up the Nether portal a little bit. I didn't really do a whole lot as far as interior design went with anything, including my house, the Nether portal, that sort of thing, and I'm really good at doing interior design stuff in Minecraft, so I don't know why I really lacked in that area up until now. But I decided that our Nether portal could look a lot cooler, so I spiced it up, and I was pretty happy with the final product. It looked really nice. I thought it looked really cool. I was happy with it, and it was the first thing that I actually spent a lot of time making look cool in this video, other than my house, which we decided to upgrade a little bit. I needed a brewing station. I needed somewhere where I could brew potions efficiently and get ready for the wither fight that was coming up here in 6 days. So that's exactly what we did. We created our own little brewing station room, and we got more well equipped to go and fight this mother flippin' wither. But in order to do that, we had to actually go and get the skulls. We still didn't have enough wither skeleton skulls to summon the wither, so we had to go all the way back to the Nether Fortress and get that shiz done, baby. This trip took a lot longer than I had anticipated. We got a lot done, but I'm not complaining because we got a ton of materials. I found even more blaze spawners, and I killed a ton of blaze, resulting in even more blaze rods. I found nether warts, I looted chests, I really got the lay of the land of the Nether Fortress. I really feel as though I know where everything is now, and of course, we killed a ton of wither skeletons. We now finally had enough wither skeleton skulls to summon the wither. We had 1 back at home from our first trip to the Nether Fortress, and we now had 2 from this trip to the Nether Fortress. It was now time to go back home, though. I could have stayed at that fortress much longer and done a lot more with it, but we had some other things we had to do. We had a fight with the wither coming up. There was a few things that I wanted to get done, and one of those things was definitely find Netherite. That was the big thing that I wanted to do and upgrade all of my tools, but first, we must say hello to Otis, so that's exactly what we did. Hello, Otis. The grind for Netherite was going to be a very difficult one, but then again, who said that it wouldn't be? The grind for Netherite has always been one of the toughest challenges in Minecraft, and in order to go and mine it efficiently, you had to go down to the required level of the Nether and get a bunch of beds, or at least that was the method that I was going to be using today. The reason that we're using beds is because beds will explode in the Nether if you try to use them, acting as sort of a TNT. So that's exactly what I did. I got a decently safe distance away from the bed, and then I tried sleeping in it, which resulted in a massive explosion, clearing out a huge area. And since we were already down at the required level to farm for Netherite, then we could result in finding a lot of Netherite, which is exactly what happened. not necessarily netherite, but ancient debris. You guys know what I mean. I got a lot of these ancient debris, which turns into netherite scraps, which can be crafted into netherite ingots, and we can upgrade our diamond gear to netherite gear. So I spent a long time getting all of these ancient debris, as many as I possibly could, and by the time we were done with all of the beds that we had crafted, we had 23 ancient debris, which was pretty fantastic. This is the farthest that I have ever progressed in a world in Minecraft. I've never gotten netherite materials yet, so this was a big accomplishment for me. I was proud of myself. We then decided to get a full new set of diamond armor because ours was so beat up after exploding so many beds, and I wanted my netherite armor to be top notch and top tier. So it was time to hang up our old diamond armor. Thank you, sir. You have served us well, but it's time to hang you up, which is exactly what I did. I got rid of that old enchanted armor, and I hung it back up on this armor stand. It was sad. I have a lot of memories with this armor. It was still the original diamond armor that we had clear back at the beginning of the episode, but it was time to hang it up and enchant our newly diamond armor. We were going to get the best enchantments we could before we turned it into netherite armor, and we got a really good enchantment on our helmet. We were fortunate for that. We finished upgrading the rest of our diamond armor. We got some pretty notable enchantments. Fire protection 3 for our chest plate was not bad, and protection for our boots, not bad at all, but I unfortunately ran out of XP to enchant my leggings, which was a big bummer because we were running out of time. I wanted to do this on the 100th day, so I had to run back to the nether and upgrade back to level 30 and then upgrade our leggings, which was pretty clutch because I did that pretty quickly. So once we had all of the enchantments required for this new armor, I went and created some netherite ingots so that we could turn that diamond armor into netherite armor. The amount of netherite that I got, or ancient debris that I got, was enough for 5 netherite ingots, which is a little bit of a bummer, because that was all of my armor and either my sword or my pickaxe. But considering we were going up against the biggest battle of our lives, I decided that it was more worth it to upgrade my sword to netherite rather than our pickaxe. So that's what we did. Even though our pickaxe was absolutely incredible, I decided to do the sword, but I decided to get decked out in all of my armor first. This is the biggest moment of my Minecraft career. I've never done anything this cool. This is probably the biggest moment in my life, if I'm being completely honest. I've never done anything anywhere near as cool as getting netherite armor in hardcore mode. I looked even better in netherite armor than I thought I would. I looked absolutely incredible. Look at that. That's someone who's ready to fight the Wither in a day. What I had to do first was combine my 2 enchanted diamond swords, though, and then make it into a netherite sword so that we were fully netherited out and ready to take on the Wither. Day 100 was finally upon us. We had done it. We had survived 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore, but we were not even close to done yet. We had the biggest battle of our lives coming up, and I decided to brew a few potions for it. I wanted 3 potions of strength and 3 potions of regeneration, which is exactly what we did. I also totally forgot about the golden apple and golden carrots that we had, so I thought, why the heck not? Let's bring that along with us as well. And I finished crafting our potions. 3 potions of regeneration and 3 potions of strength. These were going to come in handy for our Wither battle. After brewing our potions, I thought it was pretty wise to upgrade our bow to full health and make sure that it was ready to go and top notch for this intense battle. And it was time to set off. It was time to go down to the mine shafts into our old strip mines and summon the Wither. I thought that that was the best place to summon the Wither to do this battle so that he couldn't get any height advantage whatsoever. I had really thought this battle out. I was not about to die on the 100th day. We had made it this far. There's no way I'm gonna die now. And without further ado, it was time to summon this freaking Wither. I've never fought the Wither in Minecraft before. This was a first time thing for me, and I was doing it in hardcore mode, so I was scared. I was very scared. I didn't really know what to expect. I had seen Wither battles before in YouTube videos, but I'd never done one myself. So I immediately ran away and made the first mistake of unfortunately not realizing that he had a shield around him. I completely forgot about this and backed away down the long corridor until he exploded, and I could unleash as many arrows on him as I wanted. Now I know that in the second phase that the Wither does, he is still immune to arrows, but for this first phase he wasn't, so I made sure to take as much advantage of this while I could, and then once he got into that second phase where he was immune to arrows and I could no longer shoot him anymore, which is unfortunate, that is when I decided to drink one of my potions and rush at him with my new netherite sword, which is exactly what I did. I was scared. I didn't know if he was going to attack me. I didn't know what was going to happen or what to even expect, but it was going pretty well. This was actually going incredibly smoothly. What in the world? I did not expect this. It was almost easy. It was almost too easy. This was really easy. Oh my goodness gracious, we did it. My first try ever trying to defeat the Wither. I did it, and I did it flawlessly. We got that Nether star, and I was so freaking proud. This was the proudest moment of my life, easily. Amazing. This was so amazing that I even got more luck than defeating the Wither that quickly. I even found diamonds. Look at that. We even got diamonds from this battle. How amazing is that? What better way to end our 100 Minecraft days than fighting the Wither that easily and getting diamonds on top of it? I can't think of a much better way to end our 100 Minecraft days video. Thank you all so much for joining. That was 100 Minecraft days in Minecraft Hardcore. This is the farthest that I've ever progressed in a Minecraft world, and I'm so very proud of it. I learned a lot about Minecraft during these 100 days, a lot of stuff that I didn't know before. I really came close to the game. I understand thoroughly why everybody loves the game so much. I really found a new love for Minecraft during these 100 days. I did so many things that I'd never done in any of my worlds before, and I was so happy that I was able to do it. I explored the Nether more thoroughly than I've ever done before. I explored the world around me more thoroughly than I had ever done before. Now, I didn't expect to defeat the Ender Dragon during these 100 days or anything crazy like that, but I honestly didn't even expect to defeat the Wither during these 100 days. So it was a big bonus. It was a big win for me, and I was very excited about it. Thank you all so much for watching these 100 Minecraft days with me, and who knows, maybe we'll do 200 Minecraft days and defeat that Ender Dragon. But for now, my name is JDO. I thank you all kindly for watching this video and sticking with me on this adventure, and I hope to see you guys soon. Goodbye.